trip, Jackie and I are heading out west for our 25th anniversary. Our first stop is going to be Big Sky, Montana, and it will not disappoint. It was a little cloudy when we arrived the day before, but this is what we woke up to the following morning. Absolutely beautiful. As the sun began to rise, it got even more beautiful throughout the morning. We had very nice accommodations at the cabin we stayed in. Everything was very comfortable and very cozy. We even had an outdoor fireplace, which we only used once because it was pretty cold while we were there. But we had to get outside to check out the outdoor fireplace with this beautiful view, of course. As you can understand, we could not get enough of these beautiful mountain views that surrounded our cabin. The mornings were definitely beautiful, but I think the evenings surprised us even more. The skies that they gave us every night were amazing. It was now the day after Christmas, and it was time to go explore Yellowstone National Park, Winter Edition. Shortly after we arrived in the park, we come across our first buffalo herd. It was really cool. It was really cool to see the waterfalls half frozen, and the Yellowstone River was with us for most of the tour. It was beautiful. There were a decent amount of wildlife when we were there. Obviously, we saw this bald eagle, and we saw a lot of buffalo, of course. We saw some coyotes and some other things out on the water. Unfortunately, we weren't able to see any wolves, which is what I was wanting to see the most. One of my favorite parts of this trip was seeing all the snow frozen to the trees and watching the steam from the hot springs come up from water. It made for some really, really cool scenery. Yet another very cool thing about taking this tour was being able to take this tour in this awesome snow coach. It was a lot of fun to cruise through Yellowstone National Park in this thing, and our driver Danny was awesome. Well, we were sad that we had to leave Montana because it was so beautiful. But we got to drive through Idaho into Utah for the next part of our trip. We planned this while we were actually in Montana. We wanted to wait to see what the weather was going to be like, to see if it was good enough to drive. And boy, were we in for a treat. This was an amazing part of our trip, and I can't wait for you guys to see it. From the moment that we arrived, this view took our breath away. We could not believe what we were seeing with our own eyes. were obviously going to do some hikes while we were here. Luckily, the trails were safe to hike on. There was very little ice, and boy, was this trail such a good time. It was only a few miles, but it was beautiful the whole way. We had a great time at Bryce Canyon National Park, but now it was time to move on to our next adventure. We woke up early to get into Zion National Park early. The drive-in was absolutely amazing, but we were halted at the gate. I was looking online and we were supposed to be able to drive freely into the park and check out all the trails and the sights. But since it was around the holidays, they had a big push of people that came through, and unfortunately we would have had to take the shuttle in. By the time we got to the parking lot where the shuttle was, it was completely full. So we decided we weren't going to be able to do what we were wanting to do, and it was kind of a bummer. We had booked an Airbnb in Kanab. The plan was to come back and stay there another night after we explored Zion. But after the big disappointment, we decided there was no reason to stay there, so we went ahead and left. Our plan was to get home for New Year's Eve so we could spend it with the grandkids. We decided to take the southern route back to Indiana to take us through some more states that we haven't been through. It was a very beautiful drive, and it was one that we will never forget. I hope you guys enjoyed this trip. Until next time, you guys have a great day.